going on, y'all? It's your man, the DJ Beloved. And I am back for another episode of the DJ Beloved podcast. And today, I have the pleasure of being able to have a conversation with a brother that I've known for well over 20 years. Man, from freestyling in front of Gregory's to on stage at Summer Jam, like,
yeah.
like none other than Brother Hahz McMillan.
Yeah.
Listen, man, thank you for coming down here and kicking it with me for a little while.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you taking the time out your day to do this, man. So, of course, we got to talk about some hot topics real quick. I'd like to get into some world news, talk about certain things that are going on that
Right.
I'm sure we all see and hear about, and some stuff we understand, some stuff we don't understand, some stuff we like, some stuff we don't like. And you've been around this, man, so, what do you feel about what's going on with Brother Kanye West?
It's crazy, man. Like I said, I agree with a lot of his points, and I disagree with a lot of his points. So I understand where he's coming from. Just certain things that he say I think are outlandish. I think it's really due to some of his health conditions. I strongly believe that something ain't right mentally with the brother, and but overall he do know what he's talking about. I don't think he's
Out to lunch completely.
Yeah, I don't think he's completely out to lunch. He's definitely in tune with himself and his culture.
Okay, so from there, let's go to Brother Kyrie Irving.
Oh man, I think to be honest, I think Kyrie is getting a backlash because Kanye co-signed him, stamped him as endorsed him to
Absolutely.
be on his same
Guilty
wave.
by association.
Right. So when anything Kyrie do that's associated to what already Kanye is being, attacked about. Right. You part of this too? Okay, we gonna get you too. So I think he's just getting the residue from what was going on with Kanye, because Kanye backs and co-signs Kyrie.
Absolutely.
And I think Kyrie hasn't done anything wrong, and it's unfortunate of how they are treating that man right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on those topics. I really want to give you some flowers real quick, and hopefully I can get this right. So, Brother Hahz, you have 4 studio albums?
6.
6?
Yeah.
So, and are all of these as Brother Hahz, or
all of them as Brother Hahz.
So we have no Hahz the Ripper.
Nah, it's a whack Hahz The Ripper release they put on. It's on iTunes actually. That I never got to release when I was down with Roy Jones with the Bodyhead Entertainment label.
Oh, okay.
That they released it.
Oh, you slow down a little bit.
Okay.
I want to get into some of that, man.
Okay. My bad.
Because you were, some of y'all may know, some of y'all don't know. This man has been in the music industry, what do you want to say, 30 years?
Easy.
All right. And I don't know if you saw the intro video. There's a picture of you and Jay-Z at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
And because I want to give you your flowers, but I want to do it according to the proper timeline.
Right.
All right. So, I want to start with the Jay-Z relation, because that was the first move, wasn't it?
Actually, Naughty
Second
was the
move?
first move.
Nori?
Naughty.
I didn't even know about the Naughty history.
Oh yeah, I was on tour with Naughty first. That's where it all started at. That's where the name Hahz The Ripper came up actually. LL had the song, not Jack, Hahz The Ripper. I mean, not Jack.
Yeah.
What did he say? I said that. I said not Jack Hahz the Ripper, Hahz the Flipper, the lyrical big dick, but the people stick with like Gilligan sticks with Skipper. That's what I said a long time ago.
Oh boy.
But it was Jack the Ripper, King Hercules.
Okay, yeah, I
That
know that.
song was, and that's when I was around Naughty and them, and they used to be saying, Hahz the Ripper, King Hercules. So they start saying that, and then they click like, yo, I'm gonna change my name, Hahz the Ripper. Yeah, because I used to be MC Hahz before that. So it started at Naughty, man. It was Naughty.
So how did you go from the naughty camp to the Rockefeller camp?
Okay, so the Naughty Camp was it was a situation where it was something I still deal with to this day, 20, 30 years later. People could never categorize my gift.
Okay.
Like they didn't know what type of arena to market it into because of the uniqueness of it and the fact that I was so good at it, but it was like it wasn't nothing like anything they've heard. So they had trouble with categorizing what I did. So that's what the naughty situation was. A deal never came out of that. Um, and then I got with the group Hardware. Sev, and K Mac became the group Hardware. So when we created the group, we started doing songs shows all over the tri-state area, and we was just shutting it down everywhere. And then we even having a couple meetings with labels that never panned out to anything. Def Jam, Jive, Universal. Like we had all of the meetings with all the big labels, and nothing ever panned out. And actually, I'm gonna say this on this podcast. To this day, I feel like Puffy stole one of our concepts because the producer we had was a producer. We had one of the producers named Jesse West. He was a producer for. He produced with Puffy back in the day, and we had the song called "Can You Dig It?" And I had brought a bunch of glasses and like bottles in and did the clank clank. Yo, Hahz come out to play
Craig
on the
Mack.
song, and then yeah,
Flavor in your ear.
yeah, man.
Wow. Whew,
So
so
that's one story I never told to now.
well,
I don't know how that happened,
I
Jesse
got, a,
West.
I got an exclusive drop from Hahz The Ripper just now.
Yeah.
Damn, man, that's crazy. And it's crazy because people don't really realize how your ideas can get passed around in the music industry.
Oh man.
Like it's crazy. Like
Man, so many stories from so many people that so many ideas they've had and got stolen. It's crazy.
wow. So you were with Naughty, nothing ever really panned out, and
Got with Hardware, became a group, and we actually hooked up with Clark Kent.
okay,
So
Clark,
this is
cool
how
dude.
this is how we rolling into the Rockefeller situation. So me and Sev and K Mac somehow hooked up with Clark Kent. I forgot how even the Clark Kent collaboration how we connected to him. I can't even remember that part. Sev probably remember. But we went to his house. Whatchamacallit was over there actually, Free.
Okay.
Yeah, from 106 in Park. She was over there. And we used to listen to beats from Clark, and Clark started doing music for us. And this is something else that nobody ever knew. We had a chance to get the Junior Mafia hit, boom, 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 boom,
Oh yeah.
boom, 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 boom. We had a chance to get that first. I can't remember the name of the record, but we had a chance to get that first, and we was like, nah, well, I don't like that beat, nah. That jump became one of the biggest hits. We was like smacking ourselves, like, dag, we had a chance to get that.
Wow.
But yeah, we used to be with Clark, and Clark was, playing beats for us and doing music for us, and he was working with Jay at the time.
Right.
And he said, yo, I got this cat, like he's the Jesus Christ of rap. I'm telling you, like this dude is like the God of rap. There's nobody better than this dude in the world. This dude is and I'm sitting there like I'm knowing who I am. I'm like, I'm Hahz the Ripper, nigga. Like nobody better than me, nigga.
Right.
And then he played some of Jay's stuff, and I'm sitting there like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, this dude is different.
Right.
So that's when I really felt like I was somebody that could really see me lyrically when I heard Jay for the first time. But long story short, we had a showcase over at the Jacob Javits Center, and we performed, and Jay-Z was there. Clark told us Jay was gonna be there, so Jay was there, and that's our first time meeting Jay, and then we performed. Um, I think they invited us up to the what was the studio in New York? Not Quad. It was the other one that was very popular right there in Times Square.
Hit Factory.
Not the Hit Factory. I forgot the name of it. It was a very popular one though. But we went to the studio up there with Jay and them when they was chilling with them. They was playing pool and all that stuff. So we got to interact with him a little bit. You know what I mean? But he saw us perform at Jacob Javits, and he lost his cool. Like, yo, y'all incredible, dude. Blah blah blah. Y'all killed that. Good job. Y'all smashed it. Whatever. We murdered the show, and that was that. So that left an impression on him. Months later, me and Sev, start beefing, went through our stuff and fighting and all this stuff over craziness as kids, and we broke up as Hardware, and I went solo. So once I went solo, I heard riding around, just listen to the radio. Jay-Z's gonna be hosting such and such Angie Martinez show, blah blah blah, on such and such date. I'm like, yo, Jay gonna be at Hot 97. Yo, I'm gonna go over there and holler at him. I'm telling my manager this, like, yo. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna get my little music together. I'm gonna go over there and holler at him. And they was like, man, you crazy? That nigga ain't gonna remember you. He ain't gonna remember you. I'm like, he gonna remember. So they're like, all right, yo, you go ahead. I ain't going over there. They ain't want to believe, like, it's like I'm wasting my time. So I went over there. I sat in front of the studio, in front of Hot 97 station, rather, and I was waiting for them to pull up because I knew what time he supposed to have been on the station. So I pulled up like about an hour or two before and just sat there waiting on him by myself.
Smart.
Yeah, just waiting on him. Then when he finally pulled up, here come the black limo pulling up. We get out the car. I get out the car. I'm like, yo, Jay, from across the street. I'm like, yo, Jay, what up? He looked at me like, what's up? I'm like, yo, it's Hahz The Ripper from Hardware. Hahz The Ripper. I was like, yo, Hardware, the group. We met you at Jacob. He said, oh, yeah. I said, what's up? So I start walking across the street, walk over there, dap him or whatever. I said, yo, man. I said, I'm solo now. I'm by myself. I said, yo, I wanted you to check me out, man. I'm trying to get on, blah, blah, blah. He said, well, I'm going to be here for like 4 hours. I'm hosting this radio show. He said, but you can stick around, man. He said, after this, we can go back to the office. I'll check you out and listen to your stuff. I said, all right, cool. So he went upstairs. I said, bet. I called my boy. I told you, blah, blah. He remember, blah, blah, blah. I said, yo, so now I'm hyped. So I goes back across the water to Jersey, and I start getting all my stuff together. I got time to pray. He got 4 hours up there, so right. I'm getting my videotapes, my little video cassettes.
Put your highlight reel together.
Yeah, put my stuff together for this opportunity. You know what I mean? And now I go back. My manager, all them rolling with me. They coming back with me now because they see that
now they know it's real.
Yeah, they see it's real. So
I want y'all to pay attention to these little jewels that's being dropped throughout this story, though.
Yeah, for real. So they came. My man G, rest in peace, and my partner Fresh. We all rolled back over there. So we waiting for Jay to come out. So he come back out. It's like, yo, Jay, blah blah blah. I said, I'm right here, blah blah. He said, all right, follow us. I followed them back over to the office, and went up in the office. Ty was in there. Sauce Money was in there. Dame Dash was getting a haircut at the time. Like, Barbara was in there cutting Dame hair. And he started playing the little mixtapes. Like, yo, this man Hahz The Ripper. I said, he said, this dude, he's hot. I heard him perform before the boy. I want to check out his stuff real quick. Now, the room is full. There's a whole bunch of people in there, and they talking or whatever. So Jay puts on the tape. He playing the stuff, and he's sitting on the floor by the speaker, like, listening to it. But there's so much going on in the room. So he like listening and sitting there, and then somebody says that, he like, yeah, I remember that, blah blah blah, and then he go back to listening. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there like, and I looked at my boy Fresh. He looked at me. I said, yo, stop the tape. He said, what? I said, yo, tell him to stop the tape. I said, Jay, stop that. He said, huh? He said, I said, stop that. He said, for what? I just said, stop it, stop it. He stopped the tape, and I just say,
Started freestyling.
made the whole room just got quiet, like, because it was too much going on. Like,
Right.
he was.
You wanted his
sidetracked.
undivided attention.
Yeah. So I made him stop tape, and I just start going. I just start going crazy.
You seized the moment.
Yeah. And after that, Jay was like, "Yo, dude, you probably gonna make me $1 million, man. I'm gonna be in touch with you. You dope." And weeks later, he called me from Europe. He was in Europe on tour. He called me at my house. Like, we had house phones back then. He called my house.
How old were you then?
I was like 20. I had to be like 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jay was like, he called my phone. He said, "Yo, gotta speak to Hahz." I'm like, "Yeah, who this?" I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, right? I clicked over. He said, "Yeah, this Jay-Z." I'm like, I said, "Yeah, hold on, one quick." I clicked over. "Yeah, baby, that's Jay-Z on the other end." Like, I'm hyped. So hung up with her, talked to Jay. We talked for about good 10, 15 minutes. He told me how much I remind him of himself. He watched the videotape of my show performance. And he said it was crazy, and like, "Yo, you want me to be part of the Rockefeller camp? Man, you want me to be down?" And that's how the Rockefeller story started. That's how the journey with Rockefeller started.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So the part of the story that stood out to me, though, was the fact that your manager and them didn't come over there
With me the first time.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because to me, like, I'll say this: you coming on my podcast is like if they would have went with you the first time you went to the radio station.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because this is not a big thing yet.
Right.
You know, you my fourth guest.
Right.
And all I'm really doing is talking to people that I'm already friends with, that I already consider family,
Right.
and, you know, trying to make something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that says that you're still my tribe, you're still my village. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't asked no questions. It was like I called you, like, "Yo, Hahz, I need you. It's done. Let's do it." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't understand why there are not more of us that are willing to just get in the car and ride with me, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but during that time, it was more so like they believed in me, like they had thousands invested in me, so it wasn't like it was a belief factor, but they just felt like it was a shot in the dark. Well, go ahead, man. If something pop off, let us know. Like, you know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? I ain't really take it nowhere.
And that's good too, because sometimes you do have to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Life happens as well, but all those years ago it might not have felt like that, but in this day and age,
right,
it's
it
a
would have
little
been
different.
It definitely would have been.
You know
different.
what I mean? But let's talk about that now. The once things happened, what role did you play in this space now? Did you get to write with people? Did you get to co-produce? Did you what came out of that for you that helped you grow so that you would have a tool that you could use later on in the music industry?
The exposure was very beneficial for me. Just getting to be introduced to so many audiences across the country and across the world, because we was overseas touring as well. I think the exposure was the most lucrative thing that came out of that whole Rockefeller experience. I was able to do things that I haven't done to this day, like performing from a sold out arena of 30,000 people. Like that's amazing to me, and they screaming when you walk on stage like they know who you are, and you've never seen these people a day in your life, and they've never seen you a day in their life, and it's like, yo, this is crazy.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so that experience, exposure, was like very lucrative for me.
If you could do it again, what would you do different?
Have more patience.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think the success that you've seen um, would be bigger if you did have more patience?
With my career?
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I was very hot headed, hungry. Like, I wanted it now. I didn't
Okay.
understand going through the process at that age.
Okay.
I didn't understand knowing about going through the process. That's something that I didn't learn. And I was short tempered to the point where I would give up on certain things quick instead of just like, what I mean, going for it. Like, that's what made me and Kanye different. Like, both our stories are so similar,
Mm.
but he was so persistent. Like, he didn't give up. Like,
Right.
he like, man, there's this. I know I got it, but I'm gonna keep coming at it. I'm keep coming at it. And then he did have in his back pocket, which helped him a lot too, was that production side.
Okay.
He was able to be a producer,
As
and
well as an artist.
and which took care of him and get money for that. You know what I mean? Where on my side,
You still had to get up and go to work in
I
the
had,
morning.
had to get up and go to work to a regular job.
Right.
Like, who goes from touring with Jay-Z to now being being at a job detailing cars.
Mm.
Who goes from that? Like, it's very demoralizing. Like, it's very not demoralizing, traumatizing. Like, just you think like about the years of rejection I had in the music industry
Mm.
and what effect it took on my life. It's crazy.
Let's talk about that. Because you then resurrected your own career as Brother Hahz now.
Correct.
Um, what was it like in that space in between that? That space where there was no Hahz the Ripper anymore, but then one day they became Brother Hahz. What happened in that space during that transition? Because you were quiet for some years.
Yeah. I think I was dealing with the fact of letting Hahz the Ripper go.
Mm.
I dealt with that for a while um, because I felt like the people let me go.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it was that way heavy on me because I feel like what I did wasn't for it wasn't for me to like just say, man, this secular ain't working. Let me go to gospel. No, I had a life changing experience. Like, I got shot. Like, so that
Mm.
changed everything for me. I had a daughter that wasn't even 1 years old at the time. Like, so it was a life changing experience. It wasn't something like due to me not getting on in the secular world. Oh, I'm gonna try gospel. Nah, God spoke to me. That's why my first album is called that. Like, he spoke to me in so many ways, and that's what caused the transformation. And you know, when you change, you can't take everybody along with you, and then a lot of people don't want to come along with you because that's not the lane they're in.
True indeed.
Although I think it was a well-rounded respect factor from the people, a lot of people wasn't really feeling Brother Hahz.
I must admit I was confused, but as a person that was raised in church,
Mm-hmm.
I understood it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I converted to Islam in my early 20s, but the majority of my earlier years was spent in church.
Mm-hmm.
I used to conduct the choir and everything. I was the
Mm-hmm.
little Kirk Franklin, played the piano and all that.
Nice.
So, you know,
So yeah,
I get
now
it.
that you said that, now I want to question you when you say you were a little confused. So, what kind of impact did it make on you when you found out that I went from Hahz the Ripper to Brother Hahz? Because
Honestly,
I really, this is a question like I really
my
would love to ask
my
thousands of people.
honest thought was because the timing was perfect. Because like I want to say you did it around the same time that everybody was kind of getting hip to like Ty Tribbett and the younger the younger people in the gospel world were
Mm-hmm.
being more visible. They were being heard more. You had Kirk pushing that envelope a little more to
Mhm.
where he was turning secular music into gospel,
Mhm.
which is something that we were doing at my church because I was trying to make church fun for my friends.
Right.
You know, my mother had us in church 4 or 5 days a week, so I was like, well, shoot, I want my friends to come hang out with me.
Mhm.
So we were doing the same thing. So the confusion was, of course, when you don't know somebody's story or you
Right.
don't know what happened in the first place.
You assume.
Right. I mean, I didn't make an assumption because I didn't have.
I'm just talking in general.
Oh, okay. Like, but for me, it was like, because honestly speaking, I thought you were next in line. That's where my confusion was.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about the music or the genre choice.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like I thought he was next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Beanie, Memphis. You know, it was like, okay, where's Hahz? I was just looking for the order of events.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that didn't happen.
Yeah, because I literally walked away from the Rockefeller situation.
And see, again,
that's something nobody knew. The reasoning for me walking away was because how I was being treated, and like I said in my testimony video, I was saying back then it probably was a test, but I mean later on I realized that what they was doing was just testing me, but back then I felt like I was being disrespected, not being treated fairly. Like that's a true statement. Like that's how I felt. Like so it was like this happened and that happened and that. So things was just building up to the point like, are y'all serious? Like, and then when I asked Jay to go on the Hard Knock Life tour, that was like, all right, I'm done. He's like, nah, you can't go. And I'm like, why? He's like, 'cause I said so. He had no reason for me not going. But what I didn't know on the back end was he had the whole Beanie crew bubbling from Philly. And I ain't realized that till we had a show in Philly one day. And I was like, who's all these dudes with these Beanie Siegel t-shirts on? It was like about 50 niggas. I'm like, who the heck is all these people? I ain't know nothing about Beanie. Like they kept that quiet. Like they kept that on the low. I ain't know nothing really about whole Beanie, what Beanie was coming on or whatever.
right.
So it's like kind of he like came in and like was the next thing smoking from Rockefeller. So I couldn't go on a Hard Knock Life tour because Beanie was going.
And the budget that they would have needed to have you on the tour.
Or to input me into the set. Because that's when Beanie was doing that freestyle. Something, nigga. 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 I don't remember the verse, but it was that he was doing that on the tour. But, you know, if he would have had me on the tour, and I came out on my set and I started doing nigga what, nigga who backwards. When I do my little verse, like instead of Jazzo coming out, he bringing me out doing nigga what, nigga who backwards. Not to be arrogant, but y'all want to start doing that. And now he done experienced it a couple times, and place went wild. So he would have had to kind of implement that into his set. Maybe he didn't want that. I don't know.
Man, that's tough. So you walked away from that. You have a child.
Get shot.
Get shot.
Mm-hmm.
You're detailing cars.
This before, and we didn't even get to the Roy situation. You know, the Roy situation happened all before that.
Oh yes. Okay. So let's slow down the tape.
Let's go back. You gotta hit the rewind button.
Let's go back.
Bit.
Roy Jones situation.
Yeah. So that came right after the Rockefeller
Because
situation.
that was when he did Y'all Must Have Forgot. Didn't you write that?
I wrote that.
You wrote the. So yeah. So y'all know Roy Jones had the song Y'all Must Have Forgot.
I am the writer of that.
This
song.
is the writer of that song.
Roy Jones sat down on a yellow piece of paper, wrote down all his accomplishments in boxing, gave it to me, and I took it and I wrote Y'all Must Have Forgot. So he just gave me
That's how you wrote that song?
Yeah, he gave me the resume of everything. I took it. I said, okay. I came up with the song. We was in Tampa. I never forget. We was in Tampa in a hotel room. We was at the Super Bowl weekend. We down in Tampa and we in a hotel room. And I was looking out the window at stuff. I was just looking at everybody in the room talking, and it came out of nowhere. I said, Jones, yo. I said, yo, I got the perfect song for you, bro. He said, what? I said, yo, we need to do a record for you called Y'all Must Have Forgot. He said, oh. He said, yo, that's cold. He's like, that's cold. He said, that's that fire. I said, yo, I'm telling you, Jones, that joint would be crazy. He said, oh, we got to do that. He said, we got to do that. I said, all right, yeah, we definitely got to do that, Rick. That'll be crazy. He said, yeah, we got to do that. Got back to Florida. We got a beat from Mr. Lee, who was down with the Rap-A-Lot camp back then. Gave us the beat. I sat with the beat. I said, Jones, just write down everything. Just give me everything that you've done, and I'll put it in, I incorporated into the song or whatever, all the stuff that you did. So, because we want to list everything we talking about. They must have forgot. So we wanted to let everybody know what they forgot. We want you to name everything you did, and I'll do the rest. He gave me that yellow piece of paper with all the stuff on it, and I wrote Y'all Must Have Forgot.
That song actually saw a bit of success, right?
Yeah, we had a little buzz. People to this day still talk about that record. They still quote it.
Yeah.
And they still use it. I still get checks from it.
Wow. Make sure your publishing is right.
Yes, sir.
Your publishing
Gotta make
is right
sure of
there.
that.
Then you don't have to worry about stuff like that not happening. Okay, so now we can go into your detailing cars.
This was back then. No, this was before. The detailing stuff was when I was with Rockefeller.
So you was with Rockefeller, but still detailing cars.
Right.
All right. So now you're with Roy Jones, right? Y'all must have forgot.
I see the most money I've ever seen in my career while with Roy Jones.
Okay. Now let's talk about that, because I do believe around that time, was that when you had the S class?
The Escalade.
Yeah, you had an Escalade.
2022. No, 2022. I'm bugging. Whatever the year was, the 2000, I had the brand new joint, yeah, with the 22 rims on it. I said that's what 22 came from. I had 22s on the wheels.
I was like, oh,
yeah.
there go Hahz.
Came in the hood.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
yeah.
there go Hahz. Like, so, because you were like, bouncing back and forth between like here and Florida, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I knew I remember something with you down south, and everything was going good. And then what happened? Because it was like, now you could add Ghost Rider to your resume, right?
Prior to that too, but yeah.
So I was trying to stay away from it, but since you opened it, let's get into that bag. How many people have you written for that you can say? Because I know there's some that you probably can't mention. I've been in this.
So it's been times where like I haven't wrote verses, I have wrote hooks. It's been times where I've wrote lines, not whole verses. So it's been a little bit of all of that, but you could say about good 3 or 4 well-known names you guys know of.
Well, all right. So
moving on.
So you take a break from music? Is this what's going on now?
No, I didn't take a break from music until after I got shot. So that was after the Roy Jones situation. So I was with Roy in 2000. I got shot in 2003.
Okay.
So that's when I took a break from music for like, not long though, only like probably like 6 to 8 months. I was just kind of figuring out what direction I wanted to go with my life, because I really felt like that whole situation with me getting shot was just God trying to talk to me and open my eyes to some things I was just having a blind eye to, that I just wouldn't pay attention to. So I think during that little time I just was stuck.
I feel you. And as artists, that happens to all of us. Any artist that says he doesn't experience that is not truly locked into their craft, as far as I'm concerned, because there's no way you could just be always at the top of your game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. So when you finally come back and you make the decision to go into the gospel arena, and this is really where I want to kind of get into some stuff. Um, at what point did you realize the gospel arena is filled with just as much toxic behavior as the secular arena?
Man, it took a while before I saw that though. I would say at least about 5 years in.
Because the one thing I do notice about you is you're one of the few gospel artists that you are not afraid to actually say it out loud.
Nah.
Like, because I know a lot of folks in that arena that just don't say
Yeah, I'm
nothing.
the Kanye of gospel.
Yes, I was trying to stay away from saying it, but
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
the
like
Kanye
it's
of
it's
gospel.
true.
But I'm not. It's to the point now I don't care.
I haven't because I haven't seen you say
Yeah.
anything in a while. But
At a time, I was very vocal about what I felt, what I've experienced, what I knew what was going on that they didn't want me to talk about, that they didn't want me to put out there. I put out a song called Pastors some years back, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was like 4 years ago, actually. And it was like, to me, it's gonna be me. This could be my own conspiracy theory, but it's like after I put out that song, it's like a lot of my booking slowed down. Yeah, a lot of people start reaching out to bring me to their church. It could be me overthinking. I'm not, knocking. I'm not putting that out, putting that away like as a possibility. But for me, it just felt like once I did that record, like, because I was real, like, straight, transparent on that record about everything. And everything I said in there is factual. Let's state that in the camera. Everything I stated in that record is factual. And I think that's the part that the church didn't want me to, the church in the whole didn't want me to really, like, put out there like that.
like
And to the point, it's like when I get the right videographer, I'm really going to do a video to that. Because what's going on in the gospel industry is like so, and I'm not sitting here like I'm the perfect Christian. Like, I am so flawed. Nothing's perfect about me. I got my issues. I talk about my issues in my records. If you guys listen to any Brother Hahz album, I always talk about myself and my struggles, because I'm no perfect man. But I love God, and I'm trying to be right and get right. And it's hard out here. It's hard for all of us. So I say that to say, like, my struggle is it is, well, it's no different than the next man's struggle, no, but certain things that are happening in the church because of the lifestyles of so many individuals that's in leadership is like it's just disgusting, bro, and it's just traumatic. And it's really wrong how business is being handled because of it.
Yeah, because when I saw the movie Honk for Jesus,
I didn't see it.
it's a lot of innuendos in there, and I mean, of course, if you keep up with certain things, you know who the movie is kind of like making a mockery of.
Right.
But it's deeper than that, just that one individual. You know what I mean? And I noticed that a lot of folks weren't happy. Like, a lot of industry folks weren't happy, and it was like,
sure.
and when you got like the names behind this movie, like just down to the two leading actors, it's like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? So you didn't see it, so I can't ask you how you felt about it. But knowing what the movie was about, how did you feel?
I really don't know what the movie was about.
Okay.
And it's in detail. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Pastor down south, very well known. You know, he had got cased up for some inappropriate dealings with, you know, and it was a bunch of other stuff, you know, mishandling funds,
Mhm.
tax evasion, bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
But basically just highlighting the toxic business side of the church,
Yeah, all the people that's supposed to be honorable that's doing things that's not Christ-like.
basically. um,
That's what it is in a nutshell.
you know, um, I'm gonna just say a few names, and you tell me what you think of when you hear these names.
Okay.
Um, I think I'm gonna start with your favorite,
Excuse
Kim Burrell.
Love her.
I knew it.
Love her. Nobody could say nothing bad to me about Kim because I know Kim personally.
Right.
I know vocally she can be very outspoken and people take it the wrong way, and it's happened on numerous occasions. I'm not sitting here, you know, I'm not going to sit here and like defend her on everything because, you know, there's a place, time and place for some things that shouldn't be said and can be, you know,
It's
out of
family.
place. But, you know, I know her intent. Like I know her heart, man. She's just a genuine soul, man. I love her. Like I love Kim. She's been there for me since I've met her in 2008. We've been tight friends. I mean, forever. It's like my sister, man.
Donnie McClurkin.
Great dude, man. Just saw him at Todd Delaney's live. Not Todd Delaney. I'm sorry. I saw him at Kim Burrell's birthday party. But yeah, good dude, man. He always showed me love. He actually told me a couple months ago when I saw him to get back into the way I was doing gospel music. I have to be an example for the next generation coming up. So he said, you got to get back. You got to keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop.
And I was actually going to touch on
Good
that as
dude.
well because I do feel like I've noticed that you have kind of slowed down again. You've been more
Yeah, dealing with life, man.
okay because
Yeah,
I
so
did
that's
notice
really
you were doing more of your merchandising. You know, you see the sweatshirt, take God
Mhm.
everywhere, blessed by God.
Mhm.
Um, those are the two, right?
I
And
have
then there was
plenty.
another one,
Lord and Savior.
right, with like the Lord and Taylor.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've seen you more into that. Um, are you evolving to now that, or is that just something you're adding to?
So I'm at an age in my life where, you know, music has to, you know, you got to get to a point where you retire.
Mm.
You can't do music forever. You can't, you know, like I'm working on my last album right now. Like after this album, I will not be recording any more albums. I'm not saying I'm done with music,
Okay.
but I'm retiring from recording music, recording albums. This will be my last and final album I ever put out.
Wow.
Yeah, so
And you said that. You sound like you had peace with it.
very, yeah. I'm 30 years in the music, man. It's a lot. So I'm venturing out, trying to do other business ventures. Really push the merch thing. Um, other things I want to try to tap into outside of music at this stage in my life, man. I got a daughter in college, man, and got to make things right for her.
Yeah. I mean, you know, not for nothing. That's why I'm doing this podcast. It's like I'm not saying I'll never be DJ Beloved again or whatever, but I wanted to do something to kind of like, you know, broaden my own horizons. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? This is completely out of my comfort zone, but you know, as I was told yesterday, I was chosen. So
Hmm.
we're all chosen for something,
Right.
and you were chosen for this because I honestly believe that when you did make the transition, I feel like you touched more lives than you would have ever touched.
Absolutely.
Being, you know,
Best decision I could
Hahz
have
The
made in
Ripper.
my life, man.
Not saying I don't miss Hahz The Ripper sometimes,
I miss him sometimes.
but
Shoot.
you
That's
know,
why I say you hear me writing freestyles and releasing freestyles here and there.
yeah,
I still like to write and be creative and show that side of me and show that I'm still one of the greatest at it. Don't get that part twisted either. It's a lot of
absolutely.
people think because you went gospel, like I fell off.
No,
I could bang with 90% of these artists you guys big up and praise.
Yeah, I was excited when I heard Meth
Trust
Bleak
me.
shout you out on Drink Champs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was souped up when I heard your name. I was like, yes, finally,
Yeah.
because it's like,
And that's crazy because the fact that I left the impact after 20 something years, like 20 something years ago, for him to say that, like, I still remember, like, yo, they had a guy named Hahz The Ripper. That felt good, man.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because
Shout out to you, Blake.
yeah, for real, because you know, there's so many nights that I wish that we had smartphones.
Right.
I don't wish we had social media.
Right.
I wish we had phones that could record videos and take pictures, because going to the club was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be the stuff that would happen after the club on Central Avenue.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you would rap for like 10, 15 minutes straight. Like, battling people.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time we were battling walking down the street. Like, as we were walking, you were still rapping. I'm like, yo, this dude is crazy. Like, and moments like that, that's when it's like, yo, I used to talk about you for years. I hadn't seen you in years. I was like, yo, he got to be somewhere overseas doing this, that, and that. Like, I
Right.
just knew you was like just out here just
Yeah.
doing it. You know what I mean? Because I had never heard nothing like that
Right.
before. And it's like, even being a DJ and a guy that's more into like dance music and stuff like that, I still listen to hip hop on a
Mhm.
regular basis.
Right.
So, you know, I just knew when I heard you rap, I was like, oh, he out of here. Like, there's no way. Like,
Right.
he's out of here. Like, to me, you was supposed to be the next greatest thing out of Jersey since Redman.
Right.
Seriously. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Right.
yo, he is next. Like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when it got quiet, it was like, oh, well, you know, maybe I figured he was in L.A. or Miami or overseas. But when it's all said and done, everything happened the way it was supposed to.
Yep.
Because Brother Hahz made a serious impact. I know throughout a lot of churches in the tri-state area, but you've traveled the country, correct?
Oh
Like,
man, even the world. I was performed in Africa, bro. Yeah.
Well, so, you know, stuff like that, man.
Shout out to Hezekiah Walker. Thank you for that.
Well, that was one of the names. I was getting ready to go back to the names, but
Okay.
yeah. So Hezekiah, since you already there, and you can take it. I mean, you know, they hear me talk all the time. I want them to hear you tell your story. So,
Mm-hmm.
Who in the gospel world, the gospel giants, who has embraced you and you know, said, "Huh, I'm gonna give you a little push." And
Hands down, Donald Lawrence. Hands down, Donald Lawrence.
Wow, big shout out Donald Lawrence.
That dude. He seen me at, and I have to shout out Hezekiah Walker too, because Hezekiah Walker gave me platforms for people like Donald Lawrence to see me. So if it wasn't for Hezekiah Walker opening, you know, his arms and his church and his platforms for me to be exposed to big names like Donnie McClurkin and Kim Burrell and, you know, Donald Lawrence. If it wasn't for Hezekiah Walker, a lot of people wouldn't even got to experience who I was in certain arenas. So shout out to Hezekiah Walker for that. But Donald Lawrence, once he seen me, dude got my information and had people reach out to him. Like, after seeing me for one time, he's like, I'm the first rapper to ever be on any Donald Lawrence project.
Wow,
The first rapper ever.
that's
In
heavy.
his whole career, all the catalog he has, I am the first hip-hop artist that he's had on the album. And we did that song, Let the Word Do the Work, off his, forgot the name of the album. The album he dropped like about, that album got to be like 12 years old now. Law Confessions, that was it was. Volume 1, Law Confessions. He had Kelvin Leach called me. hey, Donald Lawrence trying to get in touch with you. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know how much you guys are in tune with gospel, but Donald Lawrence is like a giant.
He's like
he's a giant. Like, he could put him.
He's
up
like
there,
the Russell
Kurt
Williams, Russell Simpson of gospel music, basically. Russell Simmons of gospel music. I'm sorry.
Not really, because he's an artist more so.
But okay, so
he's an artist more so. But he's like,
who's an artist that like a baby face?
Right.
Okay, yeah, he's like a baby face.
Yeah,
because he's
so
still in the game.
Yeah,
musically.
It's more so of a baby face. Yeah, so he's like one of those dudes, and for him to call me to be on the record, and then from that to the point that I was able to be on tour for the How Sweet the Sound tour hosted by Verizon and performing at arenas across the country. Dude, like, that was like the hugest platform. Like, and what I love about Donald Lawrence, he have a desire to see gifted people win. Like, everybody that's in his camp that comes out and do their own thing, he totally backs them, supports them, promotes them. Like, he's just...
And that's rare.
So rare.
That's rare in this business.
He's that dude, man. I love Donald. That's my big bro, man. Nobody can say nothing bad to me about Donald Lawrence. Not one thing, for real. Trust me. That is my guy.
Okay, I got another name for you. Dorinda.
I don't know Dorinda like that.
Okay, that's my girl there. I like do you know Dawson and Dawson?
Yeah, Eric. Dawkins and Dawkins?
Dawkins and Dawkins, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The brothers.
Eric, yeah. I know Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric, that's my guy. Good dude.
See, I had so many names just in my head, and I knew I should have wrote them down, but I was in the car, and I was like, yo, who's some of the people? Because I want to name. I mean, there's some well-known people, but then there's other people that may not be as well-known publicly that are still like the who's who in the gospel world. Gosh, what's that guy's name? He's a good producer too. Shoot, he just won an award not too long ago. Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
Kirk Franklin.
Don't know Kirk like that. Met Kirk about 3 or 4 times. Kirk never remembers me when he see me, so he never seen me perform. He don't even know who I am as an artist. So.
And the reason I asked is because I know he did a song with Little Baby, and I was kind of saying to myself like,
yeah, he don't know me.
Ain't no gospel rapper he could have went and got. Like,
but, I mean, he used to do songs with The Truth, so he's done songs with gospel rappers before.
Yeah, but you know, if he was gonna go that route, like, you got that stain, so whatever. But you know, I don't try and keep people too long. Try to keep this thing down to an hour.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's you guys are doing me a favor. You're helping me out. Right. So, you know, I hope you can come back, because there's a lot more that I'm sure we can talk about. But you know, we're approaching an hour here, and you know, I know your schedule is tight, my schedule's tight, but we'll set it up again when we can come back, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
And
do part 2.
Absolutely, because there's way more that I want to get on, and I don't want it to feel rushed. Right. So, you know, today we gonna, you know, stop where we are. Like I said, I appreciate you doing this.
No doubt.
I learned a few things today, and I want to take some of those things actually and process it and prepare it to really do a part 2 where we kind of really dig into certain footnotes that you already have left. Yes, because, sir. You know, the timeline of events, because we still only approached some of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I really want to dig into when you did your first gospel project.
Wow.
How did it feel in comparison to being on a big stage with a Jay-Z?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you've experienced people screaming your name, like you said, that have never seen you before, you've never seen before. But that was also something that you didn't build from the ground up.
Right.
The gospel world, I feel like you really took your career by
Yeah, started from the ground.
And you built it from the ground up. So it's got to
Definitely.
feel different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really want to, and I know that's a long conversation because I know if somebody asked me that question, I'd probably be here for an hour or two just on that.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, I want to leave you with that. And the reason why I said all of that on camera is so that I can have it for my own records.
Right.
So I can remember this is where we picking up from.
Right.
But Brother Hahz, I thank you. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
Y'all, Brother Hahz, you need to go check him out. His music is available on all platforms. Let the people know where they can find you on social media. Let them know about your different brands.
Brother _Hahz, HAHZ. I'm on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram. I barely be on Twitter, but I'm on there as well. But yeah, holla at me, man.
All right, y'all. Once again, this is the DJ Beloved Podcast. I appreciate you. Until next time, peace and love.